On Friday, I had the opportunity to visit flood-damaged areas to see firsthand what our province has been through. I spent time visiting the hard-hit community of Princeton, where I met with MLA Russell and Mayor Coyne, and had the opportunity to walk through impacted neighbourhoods, meet with residents, and thank emergency operations staff and volunteers. The scale of the flood damage is extraordinary. It's difficult to see people's homes damaged and to hear firsthand the experiences of this disaster. But what I was struck most by is the resilience of the community, their grit and determination to come together and to recover. After not just these floods, but a devastating wildfire season as well. I saw the extensive impacts on the ground and what many British Columbians have dealt with and are continuing to deal with. Tomorrow, I will be visiting the Merritt area as well, to speak with First Nations leaders and local governments. It will take time to fully recover from this flooding, but I want to reiterate that all levels of government are here to help. The province is now supporting the safe removal of debris and flood-damaged materials. This will be a coordinated approach, working with local governments, First Nation, provincial crews, and the British Columbians who've been affected. Donations have been pouring into the Canadian Red Cross, which our government and the federal government have committed to matching. As of Friday, $8.6 million has already been dispersed to evacuees through a variety of means, including the $2,000 payments announced by the province. I want to thank the Red Cross for all their support to date and their continued partnership moving forward. Given the ongoing pressures of these events, starting December 15th, flood evacuee support will shift from being managed by local governments to being supported through the Red Cross with funding from the province. While the back-end management of this evacuee support is shifting, nothing will change in the level or types of support received. The Red Cross has the required capacity and experience. The transition should be seamless, and I want to thank them for their ongoing work and support since this event began. Our government continues to work with the federal government to address the ongoing needs of impacted communities and businesses, getting resources and supports to the people that need them. And I want to say thank you to all the Canadian Armed Forces personnel who've provided valuable assistance over the past weeks for their hard work and dedication in difficult conditions. Starting today, some Canadian Armed Forces personnel currently engaged in the flood response will begin to transition out. However, a company of 126 troops will remain in the province based in Chilliwack to continue to support any life safety work or emergency response needs. The forces have so far provided enormous help in our communities when they needed it most, and we would not have gotten through the onslaught of heavy rains without them. With weather conditions improving and floodwaters receding dramatically in recent days, we are shifting to recovery and debris management work, which will be managed by contractors, non-governmental organizations, and a specialized contingent of BC Wildfire Service crews. There is much work that still needs to be done, and the province stands ready to help. In the days and weeks ahead, I encourage all local governments to reach out to provincial staff whenever they need assistance. We're committed to getting local governments the tools they need to recover from this emergency and keep people safe. It's heartening to see neighbours helping neighbours, volunteers stepping up, and people from across the country doing what they can to support our province during this difficult time. While there is much work ahead of us, I know we'll get there by continuing to be there for one another. While the intense storms have passed, we still face challenges in our recovery efforts because of winter conditions, including snow in many impacted areas over the weekend. I ask people to be patient and to listen to the leadership from First Nations and local governments for the latest updates. While the focus is now on recovery from the impacts of these storms, we are also fast approaching the holidays, a time when many of us gather with family and friends. Our province has been through an extremely challenging year, so being able to visit and with those closest to us is more important than ever. But I want to remind everyone to plan ahead. Take the time to research your trip and check Drive BC for the latest updates on road conditions, closures, and detours. At this point, I'd also like to be able to let people know that when it comes to Highway 7, we will be lifting the travel restriction orders on that highway later this afternoon. Be respectful and responsible visitors and support local businesses in the communities that you visit. Especially with the impacts of the pandemic, supporting local is more crucial than ever. I want to again thank British Columbians for keeping themselves and their neighbours safe and continuing to limit non-essential travel and their fuel consumption. While we are encouraged that Trans Mountain has announced they are resuming pipeline operations, this will not be an immediate fix, and it will take some time to resume normal operations. Lastly, thanks to all the crews and volunteers who are working tirelessly together on the very important work of supporting our hard-hit communities and businesses and helping them with recovery.